Hello, I'm just here to offer an update about the Dana Rivers trial, which began on Monday, October 31st, and has been ongoing for 4 days now. So the trial meets in Oakland 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, and I've been attending the trial in person. For those of you who aren't familiar with the case, Dana Rivers is a trans-identified male who is standing trial for the murder of a lesbian couple and their son in their home in Oakland, California in 2016. The trial has been delayed a number of times, which is why it's being held so long after the fact. The reason that this trial is significant for many people, particularly amongst lesbians and feminists, is that Dana Rivers, the trans-identified male accused of the murder, is not just any old trans person, but actually is someone who was involved in activism. He was one of the members of Camp Trans that tried to get trans women allowed into the Michigan Women's Festival. So that was a big controversy because obviously a lot of women who attended that festival, particularly a lot of lesbian women, felt like that was a huge violation of their sort of space. Also, it's the case that Dana Rivers was in the news, I think it was all the way back in the 90s when he decided to do the whole trans thing. And he basically, quote unquote, came out as trans when he was a school teacher. And so there was some controversy from his students about his behavior, and I think he was actually dismissed from the school. So it seemed for a lot of people following this trial, which did not get a lot of news coverage, that Dana Rivers seemed pretty obviously guilty. He was literally arrested at the scene of the crime. There was no other person present at the house where the murder took place. So it was kind of a surprise to a lot of people, myself included, to watch the trial and to watch the first day of the trial and to find that the defense is actually trying to plead not guilty and is not using the insanity defense, because Dana Rivers apparently also had all sorts of health issues, physical and mental. And so a lot of people expected, well, the only hope Dana Rivers would have is by pleading insanity. But apparently the defense really feels like they can go for a full-blown acquittal. They're trying to poke holes in the case by really nitpicking on a lot of the forensic evidence that was uncovered. There's some insinuations. I think that the defense is really trying to insinuate that there might have been other people involved in the scene of the crime. We haven't gotten the full scope of their arguments yet, but that's really the angle that the defense is going for, is trying to say that the burden of reasonable doubt cannot be met. So the prosecution, for their part, the prosecution is not bringing up any of the trans stuff at all. In fact, throughout the whole trial, Dana Rivers is simply referred to as a woman, a female, she, Ms. Rivers, etc. It's not even clear to me that the jurors know that this person is actually male. So the prosecution is instead focusing on this motorcycle club angle. So apparently what was going on is that Dana Rivers meets Charlotte Reed at a veterans club event. They're both veterans. And through that, Rivers invites Reed to a quote-unquote all-female motorcycle club. And Reed, who's apparently a motorcycle enthusiast, joins the club, but decides that she doesn't like the club and leaves. And the insinuation is that Rivers felt betrayed or hurt or something about Reed leaving the club, and this resulted in a deterioration of their friendship, eventually transpiring in this murder, this really brutal murder. The personal witnesses that have been called so far include the daughter of Reed and apparently a partner from a previous marriage or relationship, and the neighbor across the street who made the initial 911 call when he saw the son just drop dead from a gunshot wound on the street. All the other witnesses have been technical witnesses. The cops that showed up, FBI agents, because it's a complex case. It's 3 or more people have been involved were killed. The FBI was called, so it was a fairly big case. Other people who worked in the police department, the testimony of the DNA expert who did the DNA sampling of the blood, began her testimony on Thursday and will continue on Monday. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more from that, because the defense has made the claim that there was the DNA of a mysterious third person or someone who had previously not been identified at the scene of the crime. So that's basically a very brief rundown of what happened at the trial so far. Like I said, nothing about trans-related anything. It's a lot of stuff about this motorcycle group. They even had an expert witness on motorcycle gangs, some former member of the Oakland police who researched motorcycle gangs was talking about the tattoos. Rivers had a tattoo that says 1%, which indicates the 1% of motorcycle enthusiasts who are involved in violent crime. So a lot of criminal motorcyclists, like those associated with the Hells Angels, use that tattoo as a badge of honor. So there was a lot of discussion about the various items that were found on Rivers and found on the scene of the crime. There were 2 guns. There was 2 guns found in the house on Rivers. There was all sorts of stuff about knives. There was a bloody screwdriver, I think, that was found. So a lot of detail about various forensic things. But I'll keep you updated on what else is going on. And if you want more information about what happened this week and what will continue to happen, you can also check out my Twitter. So thank you all for watching.